What's up, guys? Today I'm not talking about Nintendo actually. No, today we're focusing on Sony. I'm still gonna mention Nintendo a few times though. Today's topic is Ratchet and Clank on why it is a very important game for Sony's future strategy when it comes to making games. The PlayStation 5 released a while ago and it is doing pretty good. It's been selling like 8 million copies or so, if I do remember correctly. Probably going to be the sales number on screen. And it is doing very well, and that is including the stock issues that it has clearly had. But I'm not gonna focus on that today. The first year of a console is always kind of a mystery. There's bound to be some stock issues and maybe some hardware mishaps that happen, and there's also this like mystery of will it succeed, will it fail? You buy a brand new game console, you want it to be something you have for a very long time, something you use for the next 5, 6, maybe even 7 years of your life. And the PlayStation 5 release is also very important for Sony. The PS4 did really well, and we are yet to see if Sony can really keep up with this momentum they had with the PS4 for the PS5 for a very long time, because eventually in a few years, and maybe in the first year if the stocks allow it to, the hardcore fans will eventually like dry out. All of them have bought their consoles, and it's time to focus on getting the mainstream, the general audience to buy your console. And for that, the game lineup is the key, and especially the exclusives you offer. And one of the upcoming titles being, you guessed it, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, the game that is in the title of this video. Surprising that we are going to talk about it today. It sets a very like promising picture of how Sony will act this generation. So you might be a bit confused, so let me explain why I think this. Yeah, you might be wondering. The PS4 was clearly a success. What's the problem? Why am I worried over this? And I'm just gonna say I'm looking at things from like Sony's first party perspective, because one, that's where most of their exclusives come from, and as I just said, exclusives matter a lot to your console's success. And two, if there comes a time, if there comes a place where third parties are not in favor of your company, you will have to rely on your first party output. Nintendo has been there in the Wii U days of 2013 to 2017. Xbox has also been there. Yeah, someday Sony will also be in that situation. They will not be the leading console manufacturer forever. All empires must fall. So, in that situation, they really do need to rely on their first party output. Now, Sony, their first party output, pretty fantastic. You have Horizon Zero Dawn, your Spider-Mans, your God of War, Uncharted, and of course Ratchet and Clank now. But there's something a bit problematic with this lineup to me. It needs diversification. Just like think about it. Think about the top 5 like most popular PS4 games that are Sony first party, of course, exclusives. Most of them are like very cinematic style action adventure titles, and they are very similar in nature. If you play through one of them you can kind of get the feel for the rest of them. Of course, they have stuff that makes them apart, but still they are in the same genre. But now comes Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is a cartoony looking third person shooter that does not take itself too seriously. It's level based, it's not open world, it's full of like quirky, fun characters, and it's definitely like different from these other cinematic titles. Your Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, blah blah blah. And Rift Apart, the newest one, really seems to be like Ratchet and Clank at its finest. It's a really, really promising looking game, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it definitely stands out compared to the other titles that Sony has to offer. And the characters, there are plenty of cool characters in it too. You have the main duo, of course, Ratchet and Clank, newcomer Rivet in Rift Apart. Then you have other characters like the plumber character and then Captain Quark, and they are really memorable. And what makes it really good is that they are also very marketable and have like wider appeal compared to like Uncharted protagonist Nathan Drake, who is, well, he's a good, well written character, but just look at him. He just looks like a generic white guy. This is kind of a boring design. Still a good character, but really boring design. But compared to like Ratchet and Clank, very recognizable. You have this Fennec Fox looking dude and his cute robot body. Really fun, memorable, much more marketable. And Sony really needs more characters like that. I I have a room that is like filled with Nintendo stuff, and that is because they are really good at making merchandise and marketing their characters. I don't have all of this plushies and toys and all of that. I don't have it because I need it. I have it because I saw it in the store and I thought it was cool, and I bought it, put it on my shelf, moved on, never looked at it again, but I still have it. And Sony kind of needs those more marketable characters more, and I think Ratchet is just more the perfect Sony IP for this. So, what does Sony really need to do in the future to have a more diverse lineup? Well, first of all, have like really cool characters that go beyond the story set for them. Ratchet and Clank, I want to see what kind of adventures those guys go into, have spin offs maybe, and having different settings, time travel, dimension hopping, going different planets, whatever they do, I'm all in. But compare it to something like Nathan Drake, whose story has been told, and there is kind of a limit what you can do with that character. And also experiment with genres, have more niche genres, have like a Sony puzzle game, maybe a Sony made JRPG would be cool to see. Don't aim just for the West. Sony has been making a lot of like realistic looking cinematic games that I just talked about, and they also closed the Japan studios recently, which was a big blow to a lot of old school Sony fans because they made a lot of cool IPs like Gravity Rush, Ape Escape, and so on. So it's a bit shame to see those go away, but hopefully they will still keep making those even though the studio is getting shut down. And it's important to have characters and games that don't just go for the Western audience, because then you get like Japan and China and other parts of Asia that get more into your games, and that's just better for business. And you can also, it would also be cool to have some of those older IPs make a return, kinda like Ratchet and Clank did. Something like Ape Escape, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, and then also spotlight them really well, market them at like E3, or have their own separate state of play, and just put on trailers and try to get people hyped for these franchises. Ratchet and Clank has been doing really well, getting really cool, exciting looking trailers, having their own state of play and that kind of stuff. So they are really doing well with Ratchet and Clank, and I hope they follow this guideline for like other more experimental, more different IPs. And again, I'm not saying that what they are doing now is bad. I think their games are still fantastic. Horizon is cool, Spider-Man is pretty alright, and Uncharted is just, it's fun to play. But you might need to focus on just diversifications. And clearly, what they are doing now is clearly working. They are a $1 billion company with a lot more experience and a lot more market data than I have. So there are clearly reasons why they are doing what they are doing. But I would still look at things in the long term and be a bit prepared for times that will eventually come when a PlayStation is not doing so strong, it's not so successful, when third parties might not come to your console. So then you can rely on your first party output and have strong, diverse IP that you can put out. But that is all just like my opinion. What do you guys think? I would really love to hear your opinions. Please remember also to like and subscribe. But also, I want to start a discussion with these videos. So I would really appreciate it if you would comment down below. What do you think? Are you tired of Sony's games as they are now? Are you really excited for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart? Do you have a PS5 already? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments again. But that is all from me now. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.